Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our little song that we generated through AI, of course. So, very, very excited to begin this webinar today. My name is Tom, and I am the VP Marketing at EverAfter. Now, this webinar is going to be really, really fun, so prepare yourself. It's not something that we're going to be talking about deep methods that are going to take a long time to implement. We're talking about AI hacks that are going to help you to strengthen the relationship with your customers. That's really it. To the EverAfter customers that are in the audience, I'm going to pinpoint here and there some of the stuff that you're going to be able to do directly from the EverAfter platform. So without further ado, super quickly, for those of you who don't know us, EverAfter is a software that allows you to create a mutual interface with each one of your customers. This interface is designed to help you productize your customer program. So if we're talking about onboarding or QBRs or renewal plans or really everything, you're going to be able to help your customers autonomously progress within their customer journey. All right. So for those of you who don't recognize, this is actually me with a little bit of touch of AI. So imagine sending this to your own customers and saying something along the lines of, I'm here to fight for your success. Isn't that fun? So you're going to be able to create these type of stuff, but obviously things that are more serious at the end of this webinar. I did notice very recently that EverAfter, which I'm sure most of you know, discussed time to wow, which basically measures the time that it takes for a customer to experience their first emotional wow moment with your product or service. And I thought it's directly related to what we're going to show today, because basically what we're going to be talking about is a way to create that emotional impact and validation for your customers, as she indicates, that allows them to feel as if they made the right decision. So what are we going to talk about? The types of assets that you're going to be able to create relate to celebrating customer milestones, empowering customers to autonomously progress in their journey, educating your customers about the industry, creating moments of delight, creating the first impression that lasts, and creating personalized feature releases, and even generating meeting slides. I'm going to show you a lot of AI tools that you probably aren't familiar with. Most of the tools that I'm going to be presenting have free plans in place that you can start playing along with and already create these types of assets. And sometimes I'm going to show how these things can happen in EverAfter as well. We're talking about creating videos, creating infographics, creating automated to-do lists, creating really good prompt engineering for creating content through ChatGPT, creating presentations, and creating visuals. So let's jump right to it. And we're actually going to start with kind of the light stuff, and then we're going to continue further on. So here's the use case that we're talking about. So your customer just hit a very big milestone. They've been grinding away and building and optimizing, and then boom, a big win lands in their doorstep. You are their trusted CSM. You're supposed to be the one that kind of owns this moment with them. So I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to create this little moment of wow that allows them to see that you already thought in advance about their milestone. And then every time they'll think about this milestone, they'll think of you because you were the first one to mention it. So the tool that we're going to be talking about right now is a tool that you probably, most of you know, which is Canva. And Canva has something called DreamLab. And DreamLab is the easiest way to basically create content and create visuals through AI within their system, because you can just use free text to write which visual you want to be creating. So in this case, I said, I want to create a visual that celebrates a customer milestone. And I obviously made this up. My customer is Julia, and she works at SalesLoft. And she was able to reduce time to value by 30%. The visual needs to show the 30% confetti, and the text, you're the best. Now, they actually allow you to add an image that shows the styling of that specific brand. So I added an image that I found online of SalesLoft's branding, and I hit create. And in a second, it created this cute little visual of Julia, you're the best, 30% reduction in time to value, something really cute. I'll show you the video that I'm basically kind of recording what I just said. I put it in, I added the image, style reference, I added the image that I put online, and then hit create. It was thinking a little bit. And at the end, it generated a few variations of what I'm talking about. Super cute, but obviously just the beginning. Because then I said, okay, what happens if you have more than one stat that you want to share and maybe they hit lots of milestones? So you're actually able to create images that reflect several types of milestones. And you can say, okay, this time 30% reduction in time to value, 13% increase in feature adoption, blah, 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 blah. And then again, hit create, and it's creating more and more images that you're then able to actually do some editing to. As you can see, they have a bit of an issue with certain numbers or text and stuff, but overall, it's pretty cute. And imagine then sending this over email and saying, hey, congrats, very nice. But maybe you want to take it to the next step. Maybe you want to mention the milestone that you want to celebrate with them through a document that is a little bit more in depth. So this time around, I used a tool called Pick to Chart, and basically put in the same type of prompt that I said before, that very straightforward one with Julia. I said, create this infographic, generate infographic. And what it's creating for us is, I see it as like a whole report. So it's basically a piece that you can then save as a PDF and send it to them. It's creating the basis of it, and then you can obviously change the branding, change the content, change a lot of the stuff inside all of it, but it's already in place with lots of content, so you don't need to start from scratch. And obviously, when the customer receives it, they receive something that looks super serious, and you created a report on your own through AI. So very cool. By the way, you don't need to remember all the tools that I'm going to mention because I put it all in kind of one hub that I'm going to share with you afterwards. So don't worry about it. Moving on to the next use case. So your customer's journey just hit a roadblock. So they've been cruising along, but now they're stuck, they're waiting, they're unsure what's the next move. We all had this happen to us. Customers get stuck very often in several stages. And so you want to be the one that's helping them out with this specific bottleneck that they have in place. And the way to do it is to create a certain task list for them. So they're able to actually understand what are the steps, the breakdown, what do they need to do right now? And then they're free. And so I'm going to show that with EverAfter, but you can create the same thing with ChatGPT, of course, just without the visualization. So in this case, I chose in EverAfter a to-do list. I said, start with AI. I gave it a specific name. In this specific use case, create a success plan, but it's not really a success plan. I went with a use case that's pretty straightforward. I'm a CSM. My client, let's read it again. My client is trying to use my tool Zapier, but they're stuck in their ability to connect it to additional MarTech systems. Can you build a success plan for them? And so again, same thing with ChatGPT. You can put that prompt inside, it understands what's happening, and then it's creating a list of actions that they need to take in EverAfter. It's basically just using the to-do list widget and creating it. So you can see already with the title. So they need to set up the Zapier account. Those are the action. They need to connect it to their marketing technology systems. Those are the specific subtasks, and then the links to it and all that stuff. So I want to help you think about that specific use case of being stuck in that perspective of a to-do list, because oftentimes when they just see the breakdown of tasks, they're able to progress. It's something super duper helpful for them. So now moving on to another use case. Let's imagine that your customer needs industry crash course. Oftentimes we have customers that don't necessarily understand well the field that we're talking about of the software that they just purchased. And you want to help them. You want to provide them the knowledge. You want to give them some sort of list of things to read so that they're more educated. Something no fluff, not like overload here, like 10,000 resources, just the specific things that might help them out. How can you do it with ChatGPT? You can just say, my client is a CSM who was recently promoted to CS Ops and now owns the Zapier customer success integrations. Create a reading list to educate them on what it means to connect CS tech stack to their other tools and benefits from using these resources. Again, just as an example, you can do anything really. And then it's basically going to create the full list of resources for you, divided into chapters. Imagine sending this over email to your customer and saying, hey, I took the liberty to create a few resources for you. And obviously don't send all of them because that's too much and it's an overload, but choose the ones that are most relevant, maybe from sources that are the most reliable ones. And I'm sure they're going to be happy from it. And so same thing, you're going to be able to do again with EverAfter. You can choose the list widget and then again, use it with starting with AI. And I'm going to just skim, same prompt, generate the list, analyzing the content, and then it's going to create the full list of resources for them to read. So very, very cool and very helpful for clients through AI. Now let's go back to something that's more light. And we have Christmas coming up and obviously all the other holidays and different seasons and whatever that is. And now you want to be able to send a cute message to your customer and say, hey, I was thinking of you, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever that is. But you don't want to just say that and greet them in a boring way. Maybe you want to create a visual that's fun. So for this purpose, I use a tool called LightXEditor. If there's one thing to take out of this presentation is this tool, because honestly, it's very cool and you can spend hours on it, creating visuals for your friends and family. I already did that. So once you're in, and they have a free trial with 1,000 images that you can create. So remember that. And then you have endless amount of avatars that you can create. You upload the image that you want to create the avatar for, and it's generating that specific visual for you. And it's amazing. So I used my own picture, so you'll understand, and they created this specific Christmas picture of mine. And maybe I wasn't so happy from it, so I'm able to then replace it. I'll show you other variations, but then you can take it, edit it, and add some text to it. Maybe add animation. So you can do tons of things with this specific tool. In this case, I just changed it to like Merry Christmas and such with her name, with Julia and so on. But then obviously I played along with it and I created lots of other variations. And the image from the beginning of the presentation was also created through this and some more stuff that I'm going to show you. But bottom line, it's really fun and you can create really cute visuals specific for your clients. And if you already have a strong relationship with them, you can even take their picture and create a very cute avatar. Maybe they did something remarkable and you want to choose a superhero type of visual and send it with their own picture. I'm telling you, they're going to love it. It's really funny. So that's LightXEditor. Some of you are probably using it right now as we speak. But don't, because there's much more to come. So next up is talking about first impression that matters, and we're talking about onboarding emails. So obviously your marketing is sending lots of onboarding emails as well, and maybe your product team as well, but there's always that time when you want to send that first email as the onboarding, as the CSM, onboarding manager, whatever your title is, because you want to say something personal. You're going to be the one in touch with them and you want to be able to greet them, but then also get them to take action, get them to go inside the product and do something meaningful so that the stickiness is going to be created. So prompt engineering, you can say to ChatGPT, I'm a customer success manager at a B2B SaaS company. I need to create customer segments based on their onboarding needs to send personalized onboarding emails. So the main thing to remember here is that in order for the onboarding emails to be really cool and to be very valuable, they need to be segmented by the types of clients that you have, and the content needs to be optimized for the different segments. But ChatGPT can help you with that exactly. So You're going to be able to take the prompt that I put in and just replace it with your own content, because I'm going to be sharing it with you. But the idea is that you're letting them know the types of segments that you have, and then ChatGPT is taking that and creating the variations of the emails accordingly. So you'll say, here's the information I have about my customers, and then maybe some data points, maybe just the industry, the company site, so they can tell which segments you have. And then they're going to analyze that, describe the specific segments that you have in place, and create the themes for each one of these variations of onboarding email. So once you do that, and here's an example that I have. I'm a CSM at a B2B SaaS company specializing in project management tools. And so customer data, that includes the industry, and you have here like construction, tech startups, and then the company size and the role and so on. And out of that, it's basically creating whatever you're seeing on the screen. That's like a copy paste from ChatGPT. So it said, okay, those are your segments: marketing SMB, the enterprise construction teams, and the tech startups. The themes should be, for segment A, it's that. For segment B, it's that. For segment C, it's that. And it basically created the whole thing. Here are the subject lines. Here are the email outlines. So super cool. And then say you agree with that, because if not, you can do back and forth to iterate on it. The next step, it's creating the email for you. It's going to be amazing. But again, let's spice it up a little bit. So in this case, maybe in order to create that personal connection with them, you can use LightXEditor again, upload your own picture, and then you're actually able to create this cute little animation depending on the type of sentiment that you want them to feel. So I chose wow effect. And then I put in the image, I had the text, you're about to be as blown away as I am, from the product, because it's an onboarding email. And it basically took my picture and created this. How amazing is that? I'm going to show you again. It's this little me being wowed. Now, obviously you can do it yourself and video yourself and upload that, but it's really cool because you don't necessarily need to. You can just have the AI create it for you, and wow is just one option, but there are endless number of options for you to use and to create the animation for. So that's that. I hope you're enjoying this little thing. Let's skip. And now moving on to feature release. So obviously when the company's releasing new features, typically the product is sending emails and marketing is sending emails, but you also want to be able to send to maybe not all clients, but like the high touch ones, or maybe if you're a scale CS, send to all of them an email that gets them to be super interested in the release from the perspective of you as the person who's managing the account. So in this specific case, we're going to use AI as well in order to tailor that announcement. So the first part of that is obviously, as I mentioned, to use ChatGPT with the segmentation and create that variation of the content. The second thing that I want to show you is you creating a tutorial that looks sharp, that looks as if an editor went in and basically edited the video for you for it to be professional, except you're doing it on your own. So in this case, I used a tool called Screen Studio. It's actually not that much related to AI. It has some aspect of AI, but it's just a really great tool for you to record the screen, same as I have in here. So I basically entered the EverAfter platform and see how it's zooming into specific parts of our website, of our platform. That's actually created automatically. So it's basically understanding the movements that I'm doing on the computer, and it's creating it on its own so that the video looks really sharp. I highly recommend you to create something similar because it's going to save a lot of editing time if you have someone that can help you, or if you didn't create tutorials up till now because it felt as if it's like takes too long and it's not your profession, then now you can create it and it's going to look really cool. So that's another example of something that you can create with AI. All right. Hope you're enjoying our little examples. We're going to touch on, I think it's the last one. So we're talking about customer meetings that are coming up, and you want to be able to generate the perfect presentation. Now, you can actually create presentations like that with ChatGPT. It's sending you the Google Slides or PPTX, and then you're uploading it and it's in Google Slides, but it creates the presentation for you. And obviously, you can do it with EverAfter as well. I want you to save lots of time with thinking, what do I need to have in the presentation? Which visuals should I put? How do I put in the brand colors? What should the content focus on? Maybe just a meeting sync. I don't know what to put in, all that stuff. AI can really help you with that. So let's say you've got a sync coming up and you want to make an impression, not just another generic deck. Again, you can let AI do the heavy lifting with the content, with the visuals, with what's in it for them, with the branding and all that stuff. Before I'll show you the ChatGPT part of things, obviously, EverAfter customers, you can just go hit present, slides, and then you have the presenter mode of your own customer hub. So there's no need to actually create a presentation. It's basically taking the hub and generating it as a presentation. But ChatGPT. So you can say to ChatGPT, I'm a customer success manager at a B2B SaaS company. I need to create a presentation for a sync meeting with my customer. The goal is to, and then enter the goal of the meeting. It could be showcase progress on onboarding, highlight ROI, discuss next steps, whatever that is. Then you can say, create a slide-by-slide outline for the professional, engaging, fun presentation. Include the title, key bullet points, keep the tone light, relatable, focused on value. Obviously, change it up depending on who your customer is. Suggest specific copy for each slide that is personalized to the customer. And here's some information of the customer. And that could be a little bit of information, or that could be a ton of information that's going to be even more helpful. Just throw it in there. Don't edit it. Just put it in. It's going to understand. And you can say, propose funny, relatable visuals for each slide. Make sure they are industry relevant and aligned with the customer's persona. For example, memes, analogies, and provide a style guide for the presentation. All of this information is going to be used to create an actual presentation. So I did the same thing, and it basically generated a deck for me that I was able to download and upload to my computer. So definitely something that you should try right away. You'll be amazed. And obviously, if you have more detailed information, like maybe graphs, diagrams that you want to create for customers, if you just put it in a table or even like line by line of the data that you want to show them, it's going to generate interactive graphs for you to show the customer that you're able to just download right off the bat and add to a presentation. So those are things that you might have not known that now ChatGPT allows you to do, but it does. So very cool. And the other thing, you're not a marketeer, you want to do it in the branding of the company, you're actually able to create even a screenshot from the company website, from Figma, from whatever that is, of the branding of your company, and it's going to recognize the colors. So no need to actually write the colors. Screenshot. It recognizes the colors, and it's using that in order to create the presentation. So very important tip. And so I do remind you that ChatGPT still does require some back and forth, so it might not create all of it in one shot. Break it down to a bunch of tasks, and then it's going to send the presentation over and over again until it's the right presentation for you. So even if the first try is not working for you, try it out again. Sometimes I don't know why, but maybe it's too much information, but it basically takes time for them to actually add the colors and then add the visuals and, you know, all those different layers of the presentation, because it is a lot to create. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed it. And now I just want to tell you that all the information is presented to you in this hub that I created that includes the videos, the actual links to the platforms that I mentioned. So you can just go ahead and enjoy these various tools. And yeah, I hope this was fun and enjoyable for you. Let us know if you want similar presentations to be created, and we'd love to. All right. Thanks so much.